We're back on the Mazda B2300 here, and in the last couple of videos you saw that we've done a lot of work in just getting some of the little dents out of this thing. It really wasn't in bad shape. There's no rust on this truck or anything like that, but it had gotten hit in the front and rear, or it hit something in the front and the rear, and we got those dents out. Well, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the time and get this ready to paint on the dent side of things. We're going to use a little bit of this Bondo here, and we're going to get this prepped. So the prep on this one for the Bondo is pretty straightforward. We're going to sand off on either side of this. We don't have a lot because I took the time trying to weld this in, but there's some stuff that it would take lots of coats of the heavy build primer to put that on to get those out. So we're going to get this sanded off here. We're going to get that tailgate area that we had fixed taken care of. We'll get the Bondo, get that smooth, and then get that primed up. As you can see, still got to do all of the sanding here around to get the rest of the truck primed, get these mirrors off and some other stuff so that we don't have a lot of things to go. And we'll try to get over to the paint side of things. Now, you can see the rims are off the truck. The rims themselves have already been painted. Even got the spare tire painted on that one, so spared no expense here, folks. Spared no expense. But yeah, the rims came out pretty nice, and they look good. So one thing's done on this truck, but we'll go ahead and get this going. Take you along for the ride. According to the instructions here on this label, what you're supposed to do is sand everything down with 80 grit. That's to get a nice surface for the Bondo to bite on. So we're going to feather the sanding down on either side here down to 80 grit. Then you're to clean this off thoroughly, and then you can mix and apply this. So we'll get to doing that. Okay, I just wanted to point out here real quick that when I sanded this off, the sanding tells no lies, so you can kind of see where there's some additional creases. So got a crease here, a little crease there, and then these dents still sitting here, here, and here. So I guess when I was bragging about my welding up all the stuff, I wasn't quite as braggadocious as I should be. Or maybe I was too braggadocious? Is that how that goes? So we'll go ahead and sand out this side over here, and then we're going to have to do some hand sanding, or can't use the sander in these spots, but we still need to take the paint off and get that cleaned up. But the sander tells no lies. You can see where you're missing it. Okay, sanded out the corner now. You might have noticed that what I ended up doing was, after I had sanded with the dual action DA sander there, I went ahead and came along with the 80 grit, and I've just kind of scuffed this up. And the point of that was that DA ends up still giving you a pretty nice finish, and the whole idea of using 80 grit is to give yourself some tooth. So that's what I've done, is I've gone in over this and I've tried to give myself some tooth, doing some cross-hatched sanding. And the intent of that is that when I spread the Bondo on that there, the filler will have something to bite into. Now the next step for me to do here is clean this off and then mix up the Bondo. I'm guessing this stuff is gonna set pretty darn fast. It's Arizona, it's hot even in the garage. So we'll mix just a little, we'll put it in. Again, I'm not trying to do much here, just fill what I need to do. But we'll get that set up, we'll clean this off. I'm gonna be using some mineral spirits to clean this off. And if you're like me, you get an endless supply of nice rags every time your wife goes and buys new ones. I mean, she's not buying rags, she's buying wonderful dish towels. But I get the nice rags. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but if you have to tap your Dremel to start it, probably time to replace the brushes. All right, it says to mix the tube up here of the hardener before you use, so we'll squeeze that up some. It says to also mix up the filler itself. I didn't want to use masonite as my mixing surface, but I couldn't find a piece of plastic. As you guys know, once you get Bondo mixed, it doesn't last long. I think the working time is like 2 to 3 minutes or something like that. I'm gonna try to push it into the little creaks and crevices here. Well, I must have put too much hardener in that first one because, man, I didn't even have 2 to 3 minutes to work on that one. So we'll let what we put down set, sand it off, and put on another thin coat. I think this thing says you gotta cure for about 20 minutes. Yeah, it says cure 20 minutes, working time's 3 to 4 minutes. We'll let the clock run out. Well, while the timer's going on the other side here, we'll go ahead and get this part set and ready to do the Bondo on this end. So we'll let the time clock work for us, and we'll get this timed out. Right, 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 right. All right, time to get the Bondo here on the back side. Behind the camera is my #1 helper. You want to come in front of the camera and say hi, or you just want to see how this is done? All right, let's mix this up another batch. We'll get the corner done here first and then fill in a little there. This doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be covered by the tailgate, but we still want it to look good. And we get it on our knives.
Now I smell it.
Now you can smell it. It's because it's off-gassing as the catalyst got in there. So see what I'm doing? I'm filling in those holes I made, dents. This stuff is already starting to harden up. See how it starts hardening up? Now I can't spread it out anymore. I got to make a new batch. Okay, we got the first coat on and sanded, so we just need a little more in here. We'll mix up the next little bit. Given the small size of these, I guess I don't really mind too much having quite a bit of filler on this. Feel like I can sand it down pretty easy. And just like that, the timer seems to be up on it. So we'll let this set out. We'll go put some filler on the other side. Well, the second coat is dried, so let's sand this off and see how good we did or didn't do. Okay, I've got the third coat on this, so we'll go ahead and get this sanded up, and hopefully that's enough, and next coat should be primer. I can definitely tell that when I go to work on that Thunderbird right there, I'm going to want to have some better blocks. So some longer blocks, some stiffer blocks, maybe some foam boards on that one. I think it probably just helps the overall profiling there, not to have something that's too small. Gives you a nice edge along there. So we'll definitely get some more blocks. One thing that probably didn't come out in the video is right along in here, and I don't know if you can see it in the shine or not, there's actually some little bumps and rippling. That happened when I hammered this thing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand that back here as well. Just see what I need to do for this, if I need to do anything. I mean, there's definitely a wave on that, so I might as well take a minute here, get this sander going and sand that while I'm here. All right, just a quick pass, and you can see what I'm talking about in terms of those low spots. Everywhere you got that paint sitting there is a low spotted dent. So shows pretty good once you have that. All right, we're gonna clean these up. We're gonna get a little coat of primer on them here. One thing a primer coat does is it does a nice job of pointing out all of your imperfections in your Bondo here. So that's fine. We ended up getting primer that is the sandable, fillable type there, so anticipating that that's the case. All right, we're gonna let everything dry here for a little bit, then we'll come back and do a few more coats.
Minutes later.
All right, well, we're back in. Day's getting a little long in the tooth, but we're gonna spend a little more time. Time to work on this tailgate. So I'm gonna do the dent repair while it's up. Just give me some place to work on. So I'll set it up. We'll go from there. So we got two dents we're gonna really take care of here. We got that one right there. And this little dent here, well, we might just go ahead and take out that. I don't know, that might be a filler one, but we'll take out those two pieces right there. Get this thing looking pretty. So the technique we're gonna use is gonna be the same that I've been doing here. I'm gonna pull this up here. So drill in, pull it up out of there, and then tap this flat on the back. Weld my hole, be done. Again, I'm not sanctioning this is the best way to do it. It's just the thing I can do with the tools I got. Probably have to do it there too. Now, there is a benefit to doing this way, is when you're on a crease and there's two pieces of metal, so your outer sheet and the bottom sheet both there, you actually can drill through both of them and you can pull both of them up at the same time. If I just had one of those spot welders, I would only get the part on the outside, which I guess cosmetically works, but for here, kind of nice. So we'll lay the tailgate down and then we'll hammer this flat. All right, we're gonna weld this up again. These are pretty thin holes, so I'm gonna use the aluminum rod to back this up once more. Shine a little light on the subject here. See what we can do. Well, it turns out you don't need to be a good welder. You just got to be a good grinder. Let's open this tailgate up with this last piece. Sorry about that. I guess I forgot to take you up top. I welded the hole up top. You didn't even get to see it. Well, you can see me grind it. Alrighty, the two that I wanted to get done with welding are done. So now we'll just do a little sanding on that one. Get our Bondo coats on those. Well, as you can see out there, it's dark 30 and the relief crew is nowhere in sight. So we're gonna call it a night, go hang out with the fam. But we made a dent in the tailgate. So we got this stuff going. Plugged up those holes where the emblem was. And one step closer. So there's still a ton of sanding to do on the whole body. As I said, that's on somebody else, not me. But we'll try to film them doing that as well. But not bad for a no body man. Go on to the next one. All right, it's another day. It's a beautiful day out, almost evening. More importantly, things are happening. So look at this. Work is being done. Well, with the sanding going on pretty soon here, we're gonna actually find out if somebody can paint this thing.